Right, this is a short instructional video for Rio Grande Games' latest offering, Roll for the Galaxy, and in particular I want to look at one of the slightly trickier steps. Each round of the game has 5 steps. You roll, you assign your dice, you reveal your dice, you play through the 5 phases, and then you manage your empire. And a number of new players seem to struggle a little bit with the second of those 5 steps, assigning your workers or dice. So I'm going to just show you what can happen. Now the roll phase is fairly straightforward. You take all of the dice that are already in your cup from the end of last turn and give them a shake and a roll. Now the first thing you need to do in the assign stage is place each worker underneath the symbol on this phase selection board. So see here I've got 3 dice showing ship, 2 develop, 2 settle. That's the first thing to do. Put each die underneath one of the 5 phase symbols so the die face matches the phase symbol. Now, one of the fundamental rules is that once rolled, you never change the face of the die during the turn. So I can't change that to a develop. Once all of the dice have been thrown and they don't get re-rolled during the turn, unlike certain other dice games, once all the dice have been rolled and placed underneath their appropriate symbols, you move 1 die up onto the phase strip to show which of the 5 phases you are selecting. Now you can move a die up to the same phase that it shows, or you can move it across to a different phase. So if, for example, I took this shipping die and put it there, I would be saying that I'm selecting phase 3 to happen, settle, and I will have 3 dice, 3 workers that can go to planets to settle them. The other dice, the other workers, might do something if those phases are called by other players, or they might end up going back into the cup. You only place 1 die on the phase strip itself. It might be that instead of settling, shipping was more important to me, so I could move this die up here. The face shown on the die that gets placed on the phase strip doesn't matter at all. If I put it up here, it calls the shipping phase and it becomes a shipping worker. If I put it there, it ensures that I'm calling the settle phase and it becomes a settler. Could put it there and explore. So that's the second thing you do in the assign dice step. After rolling, after laying out the columns, you move 1 of your dice up to select the phase. The third thing you can do is reassign dice. Again, the facing of the die never changes, and every player has started with 1 reassign power called dictate, and it says you may place 1 worker here off to the side of the phase strip in order to reassign another worker to another column. In other words, you can move a worker to a column it doesn't normally belong in. Here's an example. I know in this turn I'm not going to ship. I may have no goods available. So I can place 1 die up there to dictate to reassign one of the other dice. This dice couldn't normally become a settler, but by using the dictate power, I can move it into the settle column. Players during the game can also create other reassign powers. Here are 2. Hydroponics Guild allows a player to reassign any 1 novelty as a cyan die or a jeans green die to any phase. So if I had Hydroponics Guild already built, I could move this die across to become another settler. diversification says you can reassign one home die, a white die, that shows the explorer face to another phase. I don't have any explorers, so I wouldn't be able to benefit from that. So if at the end of the assigned dice phase I've done that, I've dictated a shipper to become a settler, and I've moved an explorer to become a settler using the hydroponics guild. At the end of the phase, I would reveal my dice, remove the screen, and now I have 5 workers to settle any planets I have in my under construction section of the board, and I'll be able to settle quite a lot this turn. Right, hopefully that helps clear up a couple of misconceptions from some new players.